Welcome to Between the Reads, where we shine a spotlight on some of the most talented Black authors in the industry to discuss their works of fiction and the inspirations behind them. Each episode will dive into the rich and diverse world of literature, exploring everything from historical fiction to romance and speculative fiction to YA and beyond. Tune in as we celebrate the voices of Black authors and the power of storytelling. Are you ready, Boos and Bros? Then sit back, relax, and let's get to it. I swear that's not Fox. I swear that's not. And look, you hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Oh, look at her with the background music.
Hey! Welcome to Between the Reads, 150th episode. And prep, prep, welcome y'all. It is Between the Reads, 150th episode. Chelsea, go Chelsea, go Chelsea,
Nah.
go Chelsea. Welcome to Between the Reads, 150th episode. Tomorrow, when you guys see this, it will be the last day of August. What have you been doing with your life for
I would
the
like to
past
know.
month? I would like to know. I would like to know because, y'all, we got like 140-something days left in 2023. What?
Flying by.
Flying. And I have a virtual audience. Hello, Read, Love, Listen. Hello, Fred. Hello, Ben. Hello, whoever else is in the room, because y'all ain't checking in.
That's
But
okay.
Thank you for being here. Chelsea, my wonderful, wonderful friend.
Hi.
Owner, creator of Written in Melanin, the Melanin Library, author of the Wrath of the Gods series. We Are the Origin, and We Are Dying Gods. We Are Dying Gods just came out yesterday on my birthday. If you did not get it, you need to get it. But you need to get We Are the Origin if you haven't gotten it, because you will be lost if you tried to read the second one without reading the first one.
Let's talk about that, cause that's the
real.
thing.
Hey,
That's the
La!
thing. La made it. Hello, welcome.
Holla. Yes, so you can go to cmlockhart.com. It's on her shirt. You
Yep.
can get the books. You can get the book box. If there's still book boxes left.
There are. So it was a pre-order only thing, but I'm going to do it until supplies last. So we're going to keep going until we sell out.
There you go. So you can get a box. Hey, Portia, how you doing?
Hey, girl, how you doing?
There's a short and all. Oh, a shirt. Yeah. Yes, there's a shirt and all. Yes, I made the shirt for her, and she and Ben are twins.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We do that very often. I don't know if y'all know that about us, but we are that cheesy couple that walks around matching all the time.
Aww.
Yeah.
So see, I had the vibe right then, because I was like,
You
"Let me
did.
make one for Ben too."
Because if you had made one for me and not for Ben, I would still be hearing about it, because I got a hoodie one time, my Written in Melanin hoodie that y'all see. I am the only one that has one, and he's still mad about that, and I've had it for like 2 years.
Oh, well, I'm glad, because I don't want Ben would be mad at me. So I'm
No, he would have been mad at you. He would have been mad at me. Like, why didn't you ask her to make me one? Why don't you just get her to send you a design? We can get me one. Like, we can solve the problem.
I didn't know.
Like, it was a gift, bruh. Like, I don't know how to help you.
I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know. La says she would be so mad about that. So, 150 episodes, Rants and Rambles. Y'all, I started this podcast January 20th of 2020. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea who's going to listen to this episode. I had no idea if anybody was going to want to be interviewed, because it was such a small, it was a non-existent platform. It was something new that I was doing. And I had no idea if anybody was going to listen. I had no idea if it was going to last. It kind of grew a little quickly, because 2 months into it, we hit the pandemic, the panini, whatever you want to call it.
The panini press.
And
so it grew a little more quickly, and I was like, well, maybe this is a fluke, because maybe once the pandemic is over, people won't want to listen anymore. But here we are, 3 years later.
Still
Black
doing
Indie
it.
Author Week has come out of it. Read It Black to Me has come out of it. Blacktober
Our friendship
Reads.
has come out of it.
Our friendship has come out of it. Yes, ma'am. And it's just been a wonderful road. A couple weeks ago, I hit 10,000 downloads. Now
Whoop,
I
whoop.
know, I know there are podcasts out there that get that in a week. But I'm celebrating me.
Yes, and you deserve it because there's so much work that goes into podcasting. Like, you deserve all the flowers because it is not easy. It's not easy to be consistent. It is not easy to put out an episode every week. It's not easy to have any modicum of like every Tuesday, you're getting an episode. Every Tuesday, unless you like literally physically cannot. Like, you're literally on a hospital bed being cut up. Like, that's the only time I can think of that you really took off. And I know because I need y'all to know that Audra be messaging me, and y'all know we are different. We're very different because she got this mentality that I just don't possess. And I'm just like, wow, that is amazing. This consistency is a beautiful thing. And she'll be like, Chelsea, I'm stressed. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, don't do it then. And she's like, but I have to. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Those two things don't compute to me.
She's like, why? Who said? Bruh, like.
If you miss a single week, and in my mind, I'm like, if you've got listeners and you miss a single week and then they drop your whole podcast because of a single week, they wasn't really listening like that. They don't ride for you like they say they ride for you. But that's just me and my mentality, and I'm problematic, and I recognize this. So I'm really proud of Audra for sticking with it and being consistent.
Listen, there were 3 times I had COVID the very first year in November, and I literally could not talk and breathe at the same time. The second time was my surgery, and then the third time was most recently when my mom was in the hospital with sepsis. But all
you see what I meant, life or death? She literally didn't miss it unless it was life or death. I don't know. That goes way over my head. I'll be like, you know what? I'm tired. Oh, snap. I forgot. And if y'all listen to my podcast, y'all know that. That's why I'm like, I love coming on Audra's podcast because she is consistent. She's regular. She got a system down. She's like, this is what we doing. This is how we doing it. If y'all have never been on Audra's podcast as like a guest, I need y'all to know that she is so organized that you get 3 emails. You get an email when you sign up. You get an email say, hey, you need to go sign this release form. And she gonna send you another email being like, okay, I need all your information. If you don't send me your information, I'm gonna cancel this episode. Then she follow with you one more again. Tell you, hey, this is the link. I need your stuff. Run it by me real quick. And if you don't, she gonna follow through. But she's so organized, y'all. I'm like, oh my God. When I tell you that I had to level up once I was on Audra's podcast, I was like, oh, I'm out here looking goofy. Shit.
Stop it. Stop
No,
it.
like that was a real feeling. Like, I'm out here looking like a damn fool.
Stop.
I love it. I love it because you put in so much work and effort and time and love into what it is that you do. And I just need you to know that you are appreciated. Like, from every episode, because I also remember when we were doing this at the very, very beginning and we were all like, what is it? Like, it starts with a Z. Before Riverside.
Zencaster. Yeah.
We were on Zencaster.
Yeah. And that was when I was just audio. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so we've grown. Like, I can't say I've been on the entire journey, but like, I've been a little part of the journey. And
you've been on almost the whole journey, ma'am. Yes.
I'm excited to see it. Like, you've grown up your little podcast. I'm gonna say little, but your podcast has grown.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna go over to the comments because y'all, I got a live audience. So Read Love Listen says, and you know what? Stop. Scroll back up. Okay. Read Love Listen says, I'm so thankful that you started your platform and have continued on. I've discovered so many amazing authors, and even if I don't read their books, I love hearing the interviews.
Same.
Oh, thank you. Ben says it takes a lot of dedication to persevere for 150 episodes. I'm very proud of you, Audra. Don't make me cry. DL is in the house.
Hey.
What's up, DL?
Welcome.
And La says, that's so inspiring. You really did that, Audra. I'm super impressed. I'm, of course, just like Chelsea. I could never. And DL can attest, she has been on the show. She says she tells you when you're going to get an email, and you better read it all.
Truly. Honestly, I would tell y'all this as both sides, hearing Audra's horror stories and being an author trying not to be a horror story. Like, you need to read the whole email. She tells you everything you need. So, read the email.
I even shortened it because somebody the first year was like, those emails are really long. So, I even shortened it. So, this is the process. When you want to be on the show, whether you reach out to me or I reach out to you, I send you a Calendly link. I tell you to reserve your day and time. When I get the email from Calendly saying somebody has reserved, I send a welcome email. It has 4 bullet points. It says, you are going to be on the show on this date. I can't remember what the bullet points are, but it's basically like, it tells you it is audio and video. You're going to record on this date. You're going to get a welcome email the week of the show. And like, this is what and please fill out, go to this link. I even put the link in there and say, go to this link and fill out your bio and headshot.
Yep. It's not hard. It's not complicated.
It's not hard. Like, I do everything for you except
fill out the information.
And fill out the information. Like, all you have to do, it will take you all of, especially if you have your bio saved somewhere and you have a headshot saved somewhere, that process will take you a minute. Yeah, if you're an author, you should have a bio saved somewhere and you should have a headshot. It will take you all of a minute. And what that does, when people fill that out, that also gives me a release form. Because when I started out with this show, I had my own website that I made. So I made every single episode page, which took time. So my actual production time between editing and all of that was close to like 4 hours for each episode. Then 2 years ago, I switched to Podpage. And Podpage generates all that for me. And it also covers me because when people sign up, it generates a release form. So like, and I save those when people sign up and they put their bio and headshot in, it sends me the release form in my email. And I have all of that saved. I have folders by year, by month, within the year. And so like, it's a whole process. And I try to make it very easy. And yet.
Oh, there would always be somebody who don't want to read. And, you know, it's crazy because I'm like, this is a bookish platform. I could have swore you wrote something, which implies that you know how to read. So I don't understand why this email, it's not as long as a book, homie. Like, you can read the whole thing. You really could. Because if it's too long, I don't know how this conversation goes because apparently your attention span is very short.
I don't know, girl.
I don't know.
But people be getting canceled, and then they get mad at me because they got canceled. Like,
can't help you.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, literally though, because also you, like I said, you're such an inspiration. I don't think you realize how much you inspire other people to do what they do. Because I know just for myself, like the release form on your website made me start asking people to be like, hey, like I have your permission to use your voice in your video to show up like on my platform on the internet, like at large, right? And it's just like every single time I ask and I record it, like, nah, you're not gonna get me with this one, bruh. And then it's just like, we're good. You know, and if like 4 hours, bruh, like,
yeah.
I just need you to know you're inspiring because I worked on like the podcast today doing subtitles. And the only reason I didn't quit is because I was like, Audra would see this through. And then I was like, maybe I can cut off at 20 minutes and be like, go listen to the podcast. I don't need to finish this.
She has a whole "what would Audra do" moment, y'all.
I did. I was like, what would Audra do? Audra would see it through because Audra is not going to half-ass it. And I'm like, you know, she spends all this time. If I'm going to be a podcaster, I got to do it right. Literally why I quit podcasting for a while, too. I was like, I ain't on Audra's level. I ain't finna get on Audra's level. No, thank you.
Please stop. You are so on my level, ma'am.
No, I'm not. Don't lie to these people. Don't lie to these people. No, I'm not. I don't care as much as Audra does. I don't.
Well, the quality of your podcast is right up there with mine. So, Just saying.
We will let Audra think what she wants. Just know that her podcast is better than mine and we love her.
No.
That being said, what is your most memorable episode? I'm just curious because you've had 150 of them.
Okay. So the most memorable would have to be the beginning of this year, Beverly Jenkins. Wow.
I can see that.
Having her on was like that was a huge moment for me. That was a huge moment for me because honestly, it took me 2 months to get up the nerve to send her an email asking her to be on the show. And then after I did that, I tagged her on Twitter and was like, I sent your agent an email asking about you coming on the show. She was like, okay, I'll have her look for it. And then then I didn't hear anything. And then a week later, I see this email pop up from Calendly. Beverly Jenkins has reserved a spot. And I was like, oh, shit. I was in the grocery store. I almost dropped the milk I had. I almost fell on the floor. I was like, oh my God.
Not on the floor in a public place.
Girl, because, my phone would buzz, and I'll always look to make sure it's not my husband telling me he needs something else from the store that he forgot to put on the list, which always happens. And I was like, oh my God. I'm just like,
freaking out.
Pageant hands. That was most memorable. Most fun I've had fun with everybody. But I mean, when I think about things, I think about you and I think about DL. Yeah. DL because honestly, DL probably doesn't know this. DL, I was nervous to have you on the show. I was like, she's really got her shit together. I am so worried about talking to her. I am nervous. What if she hates my questions? What if she stops this interview right in the middle? What if she hates the fact that this is a new platform? And I was going through, I don't know why, I was so nervous. I was so nervous to have her on the first time. But we talked about 2 of her books. We talked about Kwanzaa Brunch, and I can't remember the other one that we talked about, but we just tee-hee-heed and giggled, and that turned into this whole ass friendship. And she came out here for her birthday 2 years ago, and we hung out and beach thing. Okay, yeah. Yes. And it was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. And then Chelsea's the reason why Read It Black to Me came about. Because she and I had this 2-hour episode, and we were talking about all this kind of stuff, and then somewhere in that episode I said, I need to start a thing called Read It Black to Me, and then there it went. That's what I did.
That sounds very on brand for something that I would suggest that you come up with.
Yeah, we did.
I remember the first time when you were interviewing me about Written in Melanin, and you're like, oh, let's talk about books, and I was like, I don't read, but we can try.
A list. We ended up we both wrote out lists of books, I think, that we were it was a whole thing. It was a 2-hour episode.
It was a really great episode. It's why we ended up talking again, because if it wasn't a good conversation, I'd be like, oh my God, that was so fun, never doing it again. Thank you.
It's crazy, y'all. See, this is what every Rants and Rambles starts off with us laughing, just like this one did. We be giggling because she be saying stuff to me and I be saying crazy stuff right before we go live.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't put that all on me. It's not me all the time.
No, I will admit, most of the time it's me saying something or not realizing something or
being off the wall, right, out of pocket.
Yeah, out of pocket, right before we get on the air. I do. And DL says we don't do nothing but giggle the whole show, which is true. We giggle the whole show. Beach thing in a thin line, though. DL, I think we talked about the Kwanzaa brunch in your first one. It was the Kwanzaa brunch and something. And then it was beach thing. I feel like. I got to go back and listen to the episode. I know it was Kwanzaa brunch because we were talking about potluck dinners and how we don't eat nothing that nobody brings to the office potluck because we don't know where that stuff is coming from. No. And then the most recent one we did was, we did Neverlist, and then we've done Hey Lover. DL has been on the show 4 times, y'all. 4.
Yeah.
And she says, I am waiting for Audra to read the Ruby's book so we can talk mess about Maxine. Listen, I have all of DL's books on my Kindle, all of them. I need to go through. I'm like, I don't know, I'm saving it for something, but I need to go through and read them because, like, I haven't even read the Potter Lake series, and I want to live in Potter Lake. I really do.
You know, I'm going to leave that one alone. Because part of my brain is like, how you want to live there and you ain't never been, homie? That's kind of this weird energy. Like, you ain't read the books. So how do you want to live there?
Because it's just, Potter Lake sounds so dope. Like, I want to have...
The name. We've gotten to the bottom of it.
Yeah, like, I want to live in Potter Lake. Because I just want to live in DL's world. And, you know, with these fine-ass men that are so romantic. Like, let's just go. I'm married, so I'll be there with my husband. But I could sit and people watch.
She said, I'm be sitting on the porch. I'm be the auntie on the porch watching.
I am.
Yelling at the kids. Hey, y'all need to mosey on along now.
Get a room. Cut all that out. Get a room. That's what I need to do. I'm just saying. I want to be there. Or me and Ed might be like, you know, hemmed up on a tree somewhere kissing and you know, somebody walk by and be like, well, y'all, your house is right there. Please go inside. I mean, I'm just saying. Either way works for me. I just want to live in Potter Lake.
I can't with you, Audra.
Just saying I want to live in Potter Lake. DL, I'm going to argue you down on this Kwanzaa brunch one. I'm going to go back and listen to the first episode because I know we talked about that. I know we did. I'm going to go back and listen to the first episode. We're going to have a whole argument through this whole show.
You know, one thing I don't recommend is arguing with Audra because she will slow walk you down. And the way, y'all remember at the beginning of this where I was like, I'm out. I'm not about this. Sometimes Audra be trying to argue with me and I'm like, ma'am, you are right.
Whatever.
Exit stage left. I'm not going to argue with you.
No, it wasn't the subject of the podcast. Well, I don't know, DL. I don't know. I know there was a main book that we talked about, and then there was, okay.
Okay, but...
She probably has a better memory than I do. I'm going to go with that this time, because I'm not going to lose no money. Because every time I argue with my husband, he's like, you sure you want to bet? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how much money you want to bet? I'm like, look, I'm a housewife, so whatever I bet, I'm just going to take it out of the account and hand it back to you. So really, I'm not really losing nothing here, but, you know, I'll bet you $200. And he's like, okay. And then I always lose.
You know what, Audra?
So I go withdraw $200 and hand it to him. It's like, but it's your money. I mean, it's our money, but you make it.
The logic here. I can't even say nothing because I know exactly what you mean. Like we have to, like when me and Ben go to the store, he's like, "Are you paying or am I paying?" I'm like, "It's the same account." Like I don't know. What do you want me to do? What you want me to tell you? I'm just saying. And DL said, right, but I can't remember the movie Brown Sugar. So, yeah, you can't remember Brown Sugar, then you might, I don't know. I think we might both be right. Like, yeah. I could have talked about it and it was just not recorded. That's also a possibility.
No, it's there. It's recorded. I got to go back and listen. Because that was 3 years ago.
Who knows? I wouldn't be able to tell you. I didn't know you 3 years ago. I only know you for 2 years. So.
I feel like that's wrong, too.
No, we met. We spoke into 2020.
Yeah.
You didn't join the Melanin chat until 2021, though.
Okay.
And that's when we really started talking a lot.
But it was 2020. No, and it was sooner than that because you helped me do the book launch for my book, and that was my 50th birthday. So it was 2020.
But we weren't like friends.
We weren't friends.
Yeah, you had just known what I had done for LaCase's book, and so I was like, hey, like. I was on your platform, like, why don't you come over here and we can help celebrate? But
and you know what the funny thing is? I don't even remember how the hell I found you.
Now that is the better question because I for sure was not doing anything correctly with keeping promises. That was absolutely a whole hot mess.
I came across Keeping Promises. I do not remember how I found it.
Because the cover wasn't even cute at that point.
I thought it was cute.
Don't lie. It's okay.
No, I thought it was cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, there was no way to know that it was a black book either from the outside because all it had was like a little heart on it. It had no people on the cover. So I don't even know how it came across, but I'm glad that you found it. Serendipity.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we're meant to be together.
But you gave me a homework assignment. You told me to put together some questions for this episode, and I did. So I got some questions for you, and you already answered one of them. And I feel like we've already talked a lot about why you started the podcast in the first place. So I'm going to skip over that one. But I want to know what's something that you've learned since starting your podcast, because obviously it's been a journey, a 3-year journey.
Yeah. I've learned a lot. I think the biggest thing for me, which I mentioned this when I was on Montrez's platform with the Novel Creature Network, is I learned to just start where you are with what you have. And normally I'm that type A personality that I'm like, if I'm going to do something, no, I need to start with like big, and I need to like have all this stuff in place, and I need to have all these things, and I need to have this whole plan and all. And when I decided to do this podcast, for the month of November, I did all the research, like researched what equipment I needed, because I knew I needed a microphone, I had a laptop, and I was just like, okay, you know, the website platform, where to record, I did all that, like I put the infrastructure in place. But when I started, it was just audio, and I was in this closet, but I would sit on the floor, and I had some shoe boxes stacked up that I had my laptop on top of. And I just had the light up there. I didn't have my ring light because it was just audio, so I didn't need that. But it was just me, a laptop that I already had. The only thing I really bought was my microphone, and then my URL, and, you know, all the subscriptions to do everything. But what it really taught me was just start where you are with what you have. And the rest will come. Like, you can add the rest later, but you're never really going to know like what you need until you start. So I'm glad that I started this way with just a mic and just in the closet, because over time, as the podcast grew, I knew, I was like, okay, I need to get this. And then I was like, I need to still, because actually, and being in this closet was my husband's idea, because I was going to record in the computer room. But when I did a test recording, it sounded tinny, and I was like, oh my God, that sounds horrible. And he said, well, go sit in the closet. And I was like, that little ass closet, it's not really a walk-in. Like, this is as wide as it is. And he was like, yeah, just, you know, sit on the floor, because the sound would be better. So I came in here and I did a test run, and it sounded like I was in a professional studio.
Yep.
So I said, okay. And in the closet I went. And then after this is how old I am. When I would sit and I would do, you know, the show, and I was on the floor for an hour, and when I was done, I would slide the door open and fall out and like, Edgar, help. Because my legs, I would be sitting like barely crisscross applesauce. I was like, my legs are numb, and he would like drag me out of the closet on my stomach, and I would just lay there until the tinglies went away, and I could actually feel my feet again.
Audra.
So after the first year, he was like, baby, we gonna get you a desk and a stool. I was like, how? Nothing is gonna fit in there. And he was like, you just wait a minute. Yep. He got the tape measure, came in here, measured how wide it was, and went on Amazon and looked for small desks that were adjustable, that would fit in here. He found his desk, and he was like, there you go.
See? Gotta love somebody who's ready to solve problems. Because everybody need one. There's someone who comes up with the idea, and there's someone who makes it a reality. That's generally how creative relationships work. And if you are the creative, you're the one who has the idea, and you need somebody who's going to help you make it a reality. Listen. At least that's how I work. Because the way I have ideas, and I'm like, ooh, you know, it'd be fun. And then Ben's like, okay, but reality though.
How's that gonna work?
Like, how do you expect this? Like, I'm down to help you, but like, what do you think how this is going to work? Like, I don't understand what you want. I don't understand how this is supposed to happen.
Can we talk this out a little more?
A little bit. Like, even when we moved rooms or whatever, I was just like, I want to be in the other room. He was like, huh, okay, that's fine, but like, where's our bed gonna go? And I'm like, you know what? That's not the problem.
Technicalities.
We can work that out later. Like, we're just gonna sleep on the floor? Like, is that what we're doing now? And so he broke out the tape measure. He was like, okay, we can do this. And I'm like, he's like, these are our two options. And I'm like, okay, we can work
one.
That.
But your studio looks so good now. Like, you got the whole wall and the bookshelf behind you.
Thank you. I took it from Ben. We bought this for him to put his manga on, and then I took it.
Just ganked my man's bookshelf.
I mean, it still has books on it and manga, as you can see.
Uh-huh.
It's just mine.
DL said straight jacked it. Fred said justice for Ben.
He's
Poor
good,
Ben.
you guys. He's fine. He didn't even have all the shelves filled.
Ben said, yeah, she stole it. And La said, Chelsea said, mine.
You know what? I just want y'all to know that I couldn't have moved this on my own, okay? I didn't move it. He did. So he was complicit in this.
Reed Loveless said, what's yours is his and what's his is yours.
Yeah, it's just all in the same house. We all appreciate it.
We all appreciate it. We do. We do. Yep.
But,
so, you know, that's what I learned. Just start where you are. And my husband made it happen with the desk, and you know, it's grown over time. And I had a gray sheet here before because there's clothes here, and I was like, I need something, so I put a sheet there. But then I was like, the sheet, even though I tried to like pin it so it would be like and it didn't, so I was like, I'm gonna go get a blind and roll it down, and I'm gonna get, and then like even this logo isn't the same. I had a new logo done, I think it was last year, and then I had die cast stickers. I was like, I'm gonna get a bunch of logos and put them on a thing. And then I had the orange over here to like help with the sound. And I just got this poster yesterday with my logo
looks so
on it.
nice.
Thank you. Because I had to like never underestimate power of a girl with a book here. But I was like, I need to just put my logo. Like, I need my logo all around me. So I got that there. But yeah, you just start where you are.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, especially if you're like a perfectionist and you're like, I want to have something of high quality, it can be so easy to be like, oh, I can't start until I have this and this and this and that and that and that and that. But it's just like, you'll grow into your platform because no matter what you think you're going to be doing, things, no matter how much research you do, things will inevitably change. And you're like, oh, I have to do this differently. So I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Ben said I had to give it to her or buy another one, so I chose the cheaper option.
I mean, I just want y'all to know that we've been together for over a decade. He knew who he married when he married me.
I mean, you knew what you were getting into, Ben. So.
But
okay.
Next question. What do you hope to accomplish with the podcast going forward? So, you know, you've learned to, you know, start where you are, but where do you want to go from here?
Oh, I really want to have my studio because I want to do things like do little book promos for authors that are coming on the show, or just authors for Read It Black to Me. You know, I have these visions of these little 30-second book spots that I'm doing where, like, it's a whole commercial for the book. I want to do that. You know, I just, for people that I have vetted, like you and DL, I would love to have you come when I have my little studio in my backyard and come and, like, sit in the studio. I would love to do, like, a live 2 people in the same place podcast.
Yes.
You know, like that. I would love to see the podcast generate enough money where I could eventually just have a studio space that I lease that's mine, where so I could have authors come in that are local on a regular basis and, you know, have like that whole thing going on. We're in person, we're talking. I would love to see that happen. You know, that's kind of where I have some other ideas I have, but I'm keeping those quiet on the back burner until they actually happen. But those are some of the big ones that I have that I wanna do.
I'm down for it. Like, let me know, and I'm gonna come up there.
Yeah.
I'm be ready.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm excited for it. I definitely could see you in your studio just kind of piddling and doing your thing. And if you need a book to start with, I got a series you can practice on.
I
So
mean, actually have already am making a commercial for We Are Dying Gods. So
hey, let
Yeah.
me find out. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
working on it. I actually started it this morning, so I'm playing with the ideas and everything. Yeah. So I'm trying to have something by maybe the end of next week.
You need anything from me? I can send you whatever you need.
I will let you know. I was gonna do you, and I was gonna do DL, a romance and a fantasy, so that way I could like try it out. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so cool. Okay, it's not about me. It's not about me. Who would you?
But it's always about you. With
Don't
me.
tell me that. Don't tell me that. The ego,
Always
it will
about you.
swell,
It's
bruh.
It's all about the authors, baby. I'm all about the authors.
Well, we appreciate that. Honestly, it's what makes your platform great. Like, it's the fact that you read the book and you are knowledgeable about the book and you talk about the book in a way that's like you're not faking the funk. Like when you come on here as an author, you really know that. Okay, I can't talk for nobody else. I know that she really enjoyed my book when I talk to her, and that she's into it. We can have a good conversation about it and like laugh. And it's not just because we're friends, but also because like she actually read the book. And it's just always nice talking to someone who is enthusiastic about it, and it's always like a warm space, even if obviously we're in different spaces. We ain't never laid eyes on each other in real life. Nope. But it's always we will this year, like for sure. But it's always nice to come on here, so
Thank you.
I just appreciate you. But that being said, kind of keeping on this train, whatever, man, don't judge me. Kind of keeping on this train of thought, I'm also curious about like what's one thing that you wish you had known prior to starting, and then also one thing that you kind of bought into in the beginning that you were like, yeah, that wasn't worth it.
Okay, I will probably forget the second question while I'm talking about the first, so you'll have to repeat the second question. But
Okay.
And I already forgot the first. What
Damn.
did you say?
Okay.
See, I can't talk too long about stuff because it goes right out my head.
What's something that you had known prior to starting? That's the first question.
That I hadn't known prior to starting?
No, something that you wish you had known.
Wish I had known prior to starting. Oh. Damn, that's a good one. Wish I had known prior to starting.
I mean, I did run a podcast myself, so I'm good at coming up with
I
questions.
know. Yeah. Shoot.
Do you want the second question instead?
Yeah, let me think on that for a minute. Chelsea done stumped me, y'all.
Now you see how it feels when you don't send the questions ahead of time.
That makes the flow.
I know it. I know it. I'm the same way, so I understand. That's why I can get you these questions ahead of time.
Yeah, because I La said second question and already stumped.
Okay, the second question was, what's something that you bought into in the beginning that you were like, yeah, that really wasn't worth it?
Oh, man. Damn, that's a hard one, too. Something that I don't know that I had any preconceived notions. When I started it, I was just like, I want to do this, but is it really going to work? Okay,
so let me ask you a different question then, since you had no preconceived notions.
She's like, bitch, okay, this ain't working. Let me go to my alternate questions.
What's something that you have accomplished that you didn't think you would have when you started out January 20th?
Oh, I never thought that I was going to get to like 10,000 downloads. I never thought that anything else was going to come out of this podcast. I thought it was just going to be a podcast. I never dreamed that I would have Black Indie Author Week and Blacktober Reads. And this year I'm doing Graphic Novel Month in December. Like, I never dreamed that all these things would come out of this. And I never thought that someone would be nervous to talk to me. Like, I have had authors, when I reach out to them, say, my gosh, she wants to talk to me. And there are several authors that I am the first podcast they were ever on.
Absolutely.
Like, ever.
You were the first podcast that I was ever on.
Get out of here.
Yeah. That's why.
No, I don't believe that for 1 minute, Chelsea. Get out of here. Really?
Ma'am, I think you were confusing who I am right now with who I was in 2020. 2020 Chelsea? February 2020 Chelsea had released a novella that nobody but her mama read. Okay? With a stock cover that everybody and their mama got on their website in some shape, form, or fashion with some text on it. Okay? Printed through Amazon with no marketing, no Instagram, no business, no author friends, no community, nothing.
Wow.
And so I wasn't even like, I was literally just like, how do I make friends? I had not even met LaCase yet. The book club hadn't started. Nothing. Like, I was literally just like, I did it! Now what? And so you were the first person to reach out to me and be like, hey, I want to talk to you about this book. And I was like, are you serious? And then you actually read the book, which was so crazy. Like, I think before that, maybe a blog had reached out, like the, like, very stock ones. I think it's called, like, I've been in it multiple times. They're like the Dallas, whatchamacallit, Voyage Dallas or Voyage whatever. They have one for like every major city. Okay. And they send you stock questions and you answer them and you don't actually talk to anyone. They just, you send them a couple pictures, you fill out the questions, and then boom, it goes on their website. You know, that was the most that I had done at that point when you reached out to me. So I completely understand that feeling of like, what? You want to talk to me about my book? You for real? Okay, I was nervous as a mug, bruh. I was just like, I can talk, I can run my mouth all day. My mama says I don't never shut up, so I can do that. But this is the new experience.
I never thought that people would be. And Ben says, as a guest author, I was her first. And Dia says, we do the best we can with what we got, and then we level up. Absolutely.
Yep. We learn. Like, I'm not at that same point anymore, thank God. But, you know, at that time, you know, everybody has, like you said, everybody starts somewhere, and you have to start your journey somewhere. So that's why whenever, like, I talk to people, I'm always like, yeah, like, you see me who I am right now, but it wasn't always like this. That's why I'm still to this day freaked out when people are like, oh my God, I'm talking to you. Holy shit, man, who do you think I am? Because let me tell you, my mama and Ben do not get this excited when they talk to me, and I'm kind of used to people being desensitized. Like, I'm just so I get it. Like, people, you are impressive, man. You are a pivotal, required, necessary voice in the Black bookish community. Like, I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm not saying that to gas you up. I'm not saying that to, like, inflate your ego. Like, within this Black and bookish space on the internet, it's just like, you are one of the definite milestones where it's just like, okay, once you're on Between the Reads, okay, now you're doing something. Now you have gotten somewhere. Because think about it. How many other podcasts do you know within the Black indie space that are doing what you're doing, that are inviting authors on, that are reading their books, that are hyping their books up? There are not a lot, because they're the Black podcasters who do talk about books. A lot of them are real picky with indie and self-published authors. Most of them talk about child authors, and a lot of them talk about books by non-BIPOC people. So it's just kind of like, you got the odds stacked against you. You know?
Yep. And DL says, we learn quickly and on the fly. And yep, they talk trad and lit fic. And if there's one thing you will never hear on Between the Reads, it is literary fiction. I hate literary fiction, because so many of them damn books, they be like, oh, it won the Pulitzer, oh, it won the Booker Man Prize, oh, it won the blah, 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 blah. And I read this and I'm like, first of all, okay, I don't like books where I have to think too much like that. Like, I want that shit. I'm gonna read some nonfiction. Okay? Don't do that to me with my fiction. I like for my fiction to be like your fiction. Yeah, you're like, there's world building, and you like trying to figure out what's going on. Like, give me that shit, but don't give me like, oh, and the shoe is high on the mountaintop, and
no,
like don't give me that.
I get what you meant. I don't like pretentious writing. I'm very much and I am like this in real life and with writing, so like know that I'm about what I'm about to say. But like if you can't explain it to someone like they're 5, you don't know what you're talking about. If the only way that you can write something, a story or something, is just like to be super, I don't say high level, like you gotta smoke a pound of weed to figure out what somebody is saying to reach their level of thought.
Don't bring it to me.
Nah, homie. I just, this is why I don't like poetry. Like, I don't rock with poetry, like that high level, deep stuff. What are you saying? Just say what you gonna say and move on.
Stupid as hell. I'll be like, I know I have some smarts, and I don't understand what's going on here.
Right?
You're not gonna make me feel small.
I don't like it when it's like it's up to interpretation, because I'm like, you as the author, just tell me what you meant. Just tell me. Shit. And this is not a guessing game. This is not The Price is Right.
We all have different lenses that we look. We all have different life experiences that every one of us is going to interpret that book differently. No. DL says, I love lit fic, but I'm not that deep of a thinker all the time. Yeah, but like DL don't even be fessing up to her genius level IQ here. Like her and Chelsea both. Y'all genius level IQ. Don't play with me. Y'all are. It's not open for discussion. Read Love Listen says, Me Too lit fic is the equivalent of the Emperor's New Clothes, all gas. Exactly. And DL said, I want to read about murder or kissing, and Read Love Listen said, if it's not for a course, I'm not reading that mess. A lot of the modern poetry is aesthetics, Dear Diary people, and bored rich people writing stuff. Absolutely. Like, I can't do it. Even poetry, I've had a few poets on my show, and they were really good. But I had to bring myself to that, like I don't understand poetry like that. Like I love Langston Hughes to death, but when I try to read his poetry, I'm like, okay, what is he trying
I ain't even gonna front with you. I have to read very low level poetry that other real poets say are bad poetry, because the way I love Shel Silverstein, like Where the Sidewalk Ends. Apparently that's really bad poetry. I don't give a fuck. I enjoyed it. That he clearly understood what the assignment was, which was to get people to enjoy reading poetry.
Exactly.
You and your high level thinking did not understand what this was. I came to this restaurant for pizza and you served me caviar and you wonder why I left. Okay? Like, give me what I came here for.
DL said I cannot do poetry.
Yeah. I also really like, what's her face? Rupi Kapoor, and people's like, oh my God, her poetry's so bad. I don't care. I like it. It tells a story from beginning to end. Yeah.
What? Fred said I'm still stuck on Dr. Seuss.
Right. Red fish, blue fish. One fish, two fish. I know what the fuck he's saying. I am not confused.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant is faithful 100%. That's the Dr. Seuss I know.
I'm sorry. Was any of that confusing? Was any of that over your head or too deep to swim?
Because you know what? Dr. Seuss was the original. I said what I said.
I
With
said
the
what
whole
I said.
elephant thing. I said what I said. I said what I said,
and I meant what I meant.
An elephant's faithful 100%. To me, that was Dr. Seuss saying, look, I said this shit. Don't test me, because I'm going to kick your ass. That.
And you know what? In every generation, everybody understood what that meant. Did they not? That man is dead and gone. Been dead and gone for a long time. And what are we doing right now, 2023? We're quoting Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. And
yes,
every
we are.
person that starts reading, if you ask them that are readers when they were kids, if they were fortunate enough to have parents read to them, what did their parents read to them? Dr. Seuss. Why? Because you getting your phonics in, you learning your consonants, you learning your vowels, you learning how to rhyme.
So my parents actually did not read Dr. Seuss to me, but that's okay.
I said some. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I had Hooked on Phonics. I had Sesame Street books and Hooked on Phonics.
But you knew One Fish, Two Fish.
We read it in school. Miss Thompson.
Well, as long as somebody read it to you, that's...
Yeah, Miss Thompson read it in the second grade. Was it the second
go.
grade? First grade? I don't know. I want to say it was the second grade because we had to make little fish on the wall. And my fish was purple because I couldn't decide between a red and a blue fish. Mm-hmm. Yep. Queen of not following instructions from day one.
Started in elementary school.
Day one, I'm going to do what I want to.
colors are the most pretentious. They are. They are. And La said purple is top tier. Purple really is top tier. I mean, do you see my logo?
Is purple your favorite color?
Yes.
I thought so.
Purple and orange. And you see purple and orange.
Works. It works.
It does. It does. Oh, La said purple's her favorite color too. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing against purple. Although, fun fact.
Reed said orange is her favorite. What's your fun fact?
I am still tickled to this day because you remember when we had the after chat yesterday and I told you about my tumultuous wedding experience. Mm-hmm. One of the things that happened that was on a long line of things that did not go correctly. At my bridal shower, my mom decided to play a game of who knows Chelsea best.
Uh-oh.
And she was
I think I remember you telling me this.
And she was so sure she was going to win. And the first question was, what is Chelsea's favorite color? And she said purple. And everybody else in the room
was like,
said green.
Green.
And she was just so sure that everybody else was wrong. And so when she looked at me, she's like, how dare you? Betrayed. And I'm like, my wedding colors are literally green and blue. I don't know why you would not pick one of those colors. And she was like, your room was purple your entire life. I was like, you painted it. Like
I didn't paint that shit. DL said the books are green. Chelsea had green hair. She uses the green heart. DL said, Ma!
Literally. And even at that point, like my room was purple, but obviously I did not paint it. My iPod was green. My MP3 player that I got later was green. My shoelaces were green. My jacket, my backpack, every accessory that I had in my possession was green. And so I think that day I was literally wearing green earrings. Like, I don't know where she got the color purple from.
Deborah, give it
to this day, she still believes that I was lying just to spite her. And I'm just
you
like,
got green in your hair right now. Like DL said, your books are green. You got green in your hair. You use the green hearts. What?
But Keeping Promises, that cover was pink and purple. And she was like, see? I told you. And I was like, you know what? Ma'am, I made you calm down. Okay? So, nothing against purple. I think purple's great. It's better than pink. But it's not for me.
I mean, and honestly, orange has been edging out purple lately because especially because, you know, like that's why this is orange, like this. Mm-hmm. I just love, like, they're like neck and neck, but orange has been like inching. Because I can wear orange, I can rock the hell out of orange, and not a lot of people can. And plus fall. I love colors of fall.
I personally love orange. I think it's a very good color. The only color that I don't rock with is pink. I don't like it.
I remember you saying that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Me and pink got a real hate relationship with each other. You know?
I don't think pink hates you, but you hate pink.
I think pink hates me. You ever see me try to wear a pink dress? It's not cute. It's not cute. Everybody got that one color that I just don't like them, and pink is mine. So
all right then.
I just mind my business.
Reed said you need to find the right shade. Nope.
Look, man, I've been trying for 29 years almost in October. Ain't no shade of pink gonna work on me, bro.
No.
Not pastel, not deep pink, not bright pink, not neon pink, not none of it. None of it. Red will work. Red. Orange will work. Yellow will work. Don't try to put any of them colors together to make no shade of pink, because it's not.
It's not going to work for you.
It's not going to work. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't like it either. Because growing up, people just assumed, oh, do you want a pink one? No, bro, you better run me that blue one real quick, because the way this pink is not built for me. I don't want a pink popsicle because I don't like cherry flavored anything. And I don't like strawberry flavored nothing. Unless you were handing me a Jolly Rancher, do not hand me no pink candy. Shit's nasty, bruh.
Reed said maybe a jewel tones pink with green accents.
I will take the green accents for $500. Thank you.
She's like, peel off the green accents and give me those. I'm not wearing the pink.
When you're a kid, everybody thinks that you love pink for no reason. And I'm like, I hate it. Give me the blue one. And they're like, well, blue's for boys. And I got a brother. That's fine. I don't understand what your point is. Like, blue is blueberry and grape. Like, those are the good flavors. Why are you trying to give me cherry and strawberry? Like, nobody wants those. There's a reason why you have 20 pink ones left and 2 blue ones. You better give me a blue one. Anywho, trauma as a child, clearly.
Pink is my daughter's. That's her color. Like, ooh,
love that for her. Pink. Don't hate nobody who loves pink.
She said love that for her, but fuck your pink.
Love that for you from a distance.
Oh, y'all. I always come out this closet with my side hurting when I'm in here talking to Chelsea. I got to tell y'all.
I don't know what you mean. I'm just minding my business.
Woo.
But
yeah, that's one thing you said. I wanted, what do I hope to accomplish? I hope to accomplish a studio with a fan. Because,
yes.
Do you see this? This is my fan. And this thing be blowing while I'm right on my face while I'm here.
Well, that's also a really good sign that you're doing something right because, fun fact, most successful YouTubers, I say successful meaning like their primary income is like YouTube, right? None of them actually have their AC running while they record because Terrell talks about it a lot on his show. Like when they click record, they have the AC blasting when you start to like get it like basically you need a jacket. Mm-hmm. But then when they start recording, they turn it off and they're in California. And so it gets really hot really quick, but it messes with the audio to have the AC running. And so they turn it off. And so a lot of people are like that. That's why a lot of them look hot when they record it because it's hot up in here. So if you're hot, that means you're doing something right. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, then I must be doing a whole hell of a lot right because damn it, I'm always hot when I'm up in
I
here.
mean, you've made it to 150 episodes and, according to statistics, most podcasts like fizzle out by their 10th episode. Like you're way past that. I ain't gonna try to do math, but you're way past that.
Don't do the math.
I'm not.
If it's a calculus equation,
15. You're 15 times past that. There we go.
She said 15. See how quick she came up with that?
15 times 10 is 150 every time. So I know that.
DL said, a lot of podcasts loud after the first year. Yeah. I almost feel like my Staying on Code podcast is going to end up going that way, but I'm going to try not to let it go that way. But it's just so. Whew.
I mean, can we talk about that? Like running 2 podcasts is also like really ridiculous, especially. Okay. Audra may not talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it because I can say things that she can't because she actually is still doing this. Running any type of show with another person is really, really exceptionally difficult. Like, think about the most difficult thing that you have to do and then, like, double that. It's hard. Especially if you're trying to make quality content, especially if you're trying to make consistent content, and especially if you're trying to do it on a, like, actual metered basis. So, like, every month or every week, whatever. That is so hard because, like, people have life schedules. And don't get me started on reading books. Like, I know this because I am the problem when it comes to books, okay? Because you have somebody who's inevitably, me, who's like, I didn't read the book. I didn't do the homework assignment. So now the whole schedule is thrown off. And it's frustrating. But then on the flip side of that, when you're doing it with someone and you are prepared, I've also been on this side. So, I ain't gonna read the book, but when it comes to like actual talking about stuff, I will come prepared. And if someone's like, hey, we're going to come up with the topics together, and you're over here producing, editing, posting, promoting, and you got to come up with the topics, and the other person is not even slightly prepared, bruh, that shit make you want to go through a computer and choke somebody and be like, you gonna prepare the next time, goddammit. Be like,
Chelsea.
I'm just saying, I've been in many a situation. Y'all ever wanted to know why the podcast was really inconsistent and why the YouTube channel was real inconsistent? Because there was a lot of people who was talking that shit and wasn't about it. And I would just be like, you know what? Fuck y'all. We're not doing this.
La said, you're so aggressive.
A little bit. A little bit. The thing is, y'all, I am such I am such a not perfectionist, but I am. But like, if you say you're gonna do something, do it. If you're not gonna do it, just tell me you're not gonna do it. I don't care if you're not gonna do it. I care that you gave me the expectation and then waited until it needed to be done to tell me that you didn't. Fuck you, bro. You knew a week ago that you were not prepared. Why didn't you tell me a week ago? Why are you telling me when we're supposed to record in 20 minutes? The fuck?
Ben said she's not all that nice.
I'm just saying, like, people upset me on a fundamental level, which is why I be in my bubble, and there are only certain people that I do content with. Like Audra, I can do content with Audra, but you notice that ain't nobody else who ever came on my podcast been back for more than one extra episode. Twice is what you get. Because after that, I'm about sick of you. I'm dead ass right now. Like you didn't show up prepared. Because the first time is usually like, oh, you're nervous. You come ready. That second time, you're like, oh, I know, Chelsea. This is going to be fun. You're not prepared. You don't send me your shit. You don't come ready to talk. And you don't stay on topic. And then it becomes really crappy audio that I have to then cut together because you forgot to do something that I told you a million times to do. And it just be stressful. I'd be like, you know what? That was great. No, I'm not inviting you back. No, I am not going to ask you. Please do not ask me when this episode is coming out because I don't know. Now I have like 2 hours of audio and half of it is you just talking to your husband in the background. So no. Ooh, that was trauma. Sorry for unloading on you guys.
She all right.
But
said when I edited your audio when you were on Chelsea's podcast, your audio was pristine, made things so much easier. I tried.
Dear God, yes.
I tried.
Yes.
This is where I come, whether I'm on somebody's show or whether it's my show. This is where I am.
I appreciate it. Because I'll be real with you. After the Melanin Chat, and if you are new here, love you, but you may not know what happened with the Melanin Chat and what it was before. Audra is my second co-host. Love her. She's my favorite co-host. But I just want y'all to know that when I had to pick a co-host for the Melanin Chat, after the first one did not work out, I was just like, well, bump it. I ain't finna do this again because some of the issues that I had, I was like, the devil's a lie. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus because I will not be in that situation again. But then here comes Audra and she's ready. She got her makeup on. She got her headphones. She got her mic. She's like, she prepared. She telling people not to bother her. She locked in, ready to go. She proposing topics. She checking the chat. She promoted. She telling people to come watch. I'm like, yes, Lord. You heard my prayers. Thank you.
Going to church, y'all.
You don't know. I was really like, God, you knew what I needed. Because if this was for me.
She was going to cancel. She was like,
sure was.
It ain't working out. I'm not doing the Melanin Chat no more because I don't have another host. I was like, well, I was hurt. I was like, well, is there some reason why you don't want to ask me? Like, I'll do it.
You was already doing a lot, homie. You already had a 4-hour production every week for your own podcast, reading people's books, promoting stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to. Well, I knew that if you had asked me and I was that busy, I would have said, no, how dare you even ask? So, I was just trying to be considerate. But when you was like, why you not asking me? I was like, oh, so you good? You got time? Because I just went through this with somebody now. If you ain't got time, you need to tell me you ain't got time because I'm be upset.
That's exactly what she said. She was like, Audra, don't play because I will do this with you, but don't play. Like, I need you to,
because if y'all have ever talked to me, I am literally that person to be like, okay, look, you asking me to do something, I will do it, but you gotta follow through on your end. Now, if you don't follow through on your end, I'm gonna talk mad shit about you because I'm gonna be mad.
Because Chelsea be making me feel like a whole child, like when my mama called me by my full name, because she'd be like, hey, she like, you got a book? And I'm like, oh shit, yes, ma'am.
It don't even be like that.
I do. She like, what's your book? I'm like, I got a book here.
The problem is, I try not to bother people. So I'm like, if you know we got this, I'm going to assume you're just going to send it to me when you're ready because I know you do the podcast. I know you done read a book, but I know sometimes people don't follow through and you like, nah, I ain't promoting this. So I'm like, I'm not finna stress you. But also, we have to do this in like 16 hours. So I need to get this stuff together.
I got a book.
But you know what? At least you have the book. At least you can reach off screen and be like, "Hi, you guys. So this is my book for the week."
I know she
I haven't even read the book. I'd be like, yeah, I've never heard of this book before this moment. I haven't read the description. We're reading the description for the first time together. The cover is pretty. Audra picked out a thriller, so I picked out a thriller too. No, I have not read it. No, I will not read it. No further questions. Thank you.
Woo! You got La scared. La said, the way I'm terrified of not being prepared for anything with Chelsea. And Read Love Listen said, me too. See, you got folks shook. They're like, ah.
Look,
Chelsea gonna make me go sit in the corner like, can I come out now?
I promise you, it's only if you tell me. Like, because here's the thing. Y'all have to understand that a lot of people that I work with, they push for the things that I do because I will tell you, I don't have time. Okay? I am busy. So if you push and you're like, but no, I can do this. And it's specifically when it comes to helping me. Now, I'm not talking about if you're coming on the podcast. Lies. I'm not talking about if you are volunteering to do something that doesn't involve me necessarily. It's just for me. Cool. But if you're talking about, hey, Chelsea, I want to help you accomplish this task. Just send me this portion of this task and I will do it for you. And I'm like, are you sure? This is a lot of work. Are you sure you want to take this on? And you're like, yes, Chelsea, I got you. Just send it to me. I want to be helpful. We are friends.
Okay.
And then I send it to you. Huh? I send it to you. Huh? And then... This is a task that takes at least 5 hours, and you tell me 20 minutes before I need it that you did not do it. I hate you.
Ben says she sets clear expectations.
Clear expectations.
So hard, my eyelid has flipped inside itself, and I can't get it to flip back out. Ow, my eyelid. I ain't never had that happen before. Ow. Oh my God, my eyelid. Woo, my eye is tearing. Oh my God, I can't. This is why I love Chelsea. La, you're dead. I'm dead. My whole eyelid flipped inside. I never had that happen before. From laughter. I don't know. Maybe Chelsea did it. Fred said from laughter. Or
First
did
of
Chelsea
all,
do it? I think
if
it's
I
both.
did it, y'all wouldn't know. First of all, I would be leading the search team searching for her, okay? Where did she go? Oh my God, I'm so worried. Can anybody call her? Did you try getting in touch with her man, her mom, her dad? Oh my God.
Whole time. She did.
Whole time she chopped up in the trunk ready to be dispersed across the United States of America.
Taking trips, doing a book tour.
Like, oh my
body
God.
parts along the way.
I can't believe she just disappeared like that. Wow. I literally just talked to her the other day. She said she was hanging out with her sister. She never came back. Serious.
And y'all would know that's a lie because I ain't got no sister. So pay attention.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not a scary person. Just don't volunteer and push your way into doing things for me and then not deliver. Because I'm not going to understand.
Chelsea gonna unalive you, y'all. I'm just saying.
Don't say that. I'm just being mad.
Fred said, keep the death note away from her, please.
For real, though. Because...
Wow, from the grave, I'm going to be like, she a lie. That's what La said.
Whew. Because let me tell you, if I had a death note, the only thing that got Light Yagami is he was only killing people in Japan. The way I would have learned a whole nother language to be writing people all over the world so they would not be able to pinpoint me, baby. It would have been done. It would have been a wrap. I would have had y'all looking for me over in Africa somewhere. Like, it's got to be over there. Nope.
I don't know what is going on. My eye keeps twisting. Chelsea.
I ain't done nothing. I'm over here. I ain't never laid eyes on you in real life. It's not me.
Woo. Y'all, See, this is why I love doing Rants and Rambles with Chelsea, because you'll never, it's like Melanin Chat, but you'll never know what you're going to get. Ever.
It's like Melanin Chat with curse words. There we go.
It is. It's X-rated Melanin Chat.
You don't know what a death note is.
First of all, Ben, I don't appreciate you calling me out like that. I was trying to keep quiet and just go with the flow.
A death note.
Like, she don't know.
Death Note is from an anime literally called Death Note, where basically this teenage kid gets a notebook from a god of death, and basically when you write someone's name in it, they die. And that's it. Like, boom, dead. But you have to have, but there are two rules. You have to know the person's full name, and you have to have an image of what they look like in your mind when you write it, so that you get the right person. And so he kind of
dangerous for me, because it'd be some whole bunch of people that be unalive right now.
Let me tell you. And so he goes on this spree or whatever, but his dad's part of the police force. And so when they're like, hey, we have a serial killer on the loose, he's like, Dad, let me help you. Whole time writing names in the notebook. This whole time killing people. Like, yeah, let's go find this dude. Write name.
Can I get that notebook, please? I got some names I need to put in it.
I'm just saying. But yeah. So
wow.
I don't want you guys to be afraid of me, though. I'm very nice.
Too late.
Facade. I have a very nice facade.
Yeah, see, facades ain't shit, though. They're just that. They are facades. They are fake.
I mean, as long as you do what you said you were going to do, we're fine. Literally that. Audra has come through on the Melanin Chat. We're great. We're bestest of friends. When she can't do it, she tells me. We don't have a problem. You know what would be a problem? If I'm like, okay, Audra, it's 10 o'clock. We're ready to start. And she's like, oh, I can't come. Wait a second.
Get your ass in the closet.
I'm on YouTube. I already set it up. Telling people we coming. In the Discord, waiting. You could see, the thing is, but you knew at 9:05, 9 o'clock this morning, that you wasn't gonna make it at 10. Why ain't you telling me 9 o'clock? Why you telling me at 10 o'clock when we finna start?
To be clear, y'all, I have never done this.
She's never done this.
Hypothetical thing. Okay,
it's a hypothetical. This is why I deal with Audra. This is why I love her, because I say this from experience working with other people. And I was just like, so where are you? And then they messaged me an hour later, and they're like, oh, sorry, I couldn't make it. I was asleep. This is the business, bitch. The fuck?
DL said people just are not professional at all. They really aren't.
Literally,
really aren't.
in my podcast email.
How many times I have sat in here waiting for somebody to show up and they never did.
And they never show up.
They weren't coming. Yeah.
And then they want to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule? No, you're dead to me. Goodbye.
Ben said, you can't? Are you already dead or just planning to be soon?
Seriously. Like, literally in my long email, I'm like, hey, this is a professional responsibility. I'm going to need you to show up and treat it as such. And if you can't make it, it need to be because somebody is dead and or dying. Okay?
And La said she heard Ben laugh, so did I. And DL said people aren't even considerate, like, you're on my time. Yes, like, can you stop?
Part. Can you just...
I can make more money. I can make more food. I can buy more clothes. Don't mess with my time.
I can't make more time.
Get that back. I can't get that back at all.
Nope. And the way, it's just like... It's the double standards. Like, you expect me to be professional. You expect me to show up on time, be ready to record, have questions prepared for you. But then you think that you don't have to show up on time. You think that you don't have to read the email to know what you need to have this be successful. You think that you don't even need to bother yourself listening to an episode, at least one, prior to coming on, because it's not that important. But then you want me to promote. The thing is, the difference between me and Audra is because I'm petty. I don't give a fuck. I do this because I want to. And so I'm like, okay, well, if you're not going to promote, I'm not going to promote, because it takes time to create. It takes time to record. It takes time to edit. It takes time to create captions. It takes time to promote. It takes time to create images. If you tell me you're not finna do it, I'm not either, bruh. They'll listen to the next episode. Period. Like,
So many. Of 150 episodes, I think maybe 20 authors have promoted the episode, put it on their page. And I even make it easy. I tag you as collaborators. And before collaboration was a thing, because I don't think that was a thing until like later in 2020 or something. I remember being newer.
Maybe 2022, last year sometime.
Yeah. But I would send them sound bites. so they could just download it and post it on their. People don't do it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've started guilt tripping people, so I will send it to them like, so like, are you gonna post? Because I'm not if you're not. And they're like, oh no, I'll go ahead and post. Like, okay, cool. I'll wait.
I said, you go first, bitch.
You go first.
You go first, I will follow.
Yeah. Like, I just want to see you do it.
Oh, man. I need to try that, because let me tell you, the way I've even had one author tell me that my graphic didn't fit within with the aesthetic of their page.
I would have been like, your voice don't fit with the aesthetic of my podcast then. Shit. The way I have taken down episodes in the past. Like, oh, we not cool no more? Okay, great. Glad we understand. Because when I tell y'all that if you want to see that first season of the Melanin Chat, I highly suggest that you go ahead and see it before the end of 2023, because when 2024 went around and we got 3 seasons with me and Audra, that first one is going to be a memory. Just so if you're new here, if you're new to it, not true to it, I suggest you catch up.
Listen, catch right on up. Because I have wanted to take down the first season of Between the Reads, just because it's such a, like when you scroll,
it's a gap.
Everybody ain't scrolling through like the whole first year, and I'm just like, I just want to keep like maybe the latest 2 years up. But I think when I asked Buzzsprout about that, like if I take it down, then it takes down the number of episodes. So I'm just like the number of episodes that I published, and I don't want to do that. So.
Can you not just unlist it? Or make it private?
Figure that out. But La said, no, I haven't finished the first season yet. Yeah. And DL said, nah, leave them. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's up to you, because I know for the podcast specifically, everything that I did prior to like right now is gone. Everything that I did with my first co-host, everything that I did with my second co-host, everything that I did prior to like actually figuring out what I was going to do, that's just, I have it on I don't even know if I have the computer files anymore. I think it's just like, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's gross. Y'all need to see that. Y'all need to hear that. And then with the YouTube channel,
Chelsea has rebooted her podcast several times.
I have, because the thing is, learning, kind of like what you said at the beginning of this, like you grow into a lot of things, and it was just kind of like, when I first did it, I was very, very like terrified of just doing it by myself. So like, ain't nobody gonna listen to me talk shit. I ain't that interesting. And so I was like, I have to have a co-host. But then I had all those problems. Like, those hypotheticals were not hypotheticals. Those were real situations that I lived through with other people. And that's how I know that in this current villain era of my life, that I have certain boundaries and lines that if you want to be cool with me, I suggest that you just don't cross, And I learned all of that during that first season of the podcast. And then we had really bad audio. My co-host at the time, I was actually reading books, you guys. At the time, I was actually trying to read the books. And the reason I don't read books anymore is because I realized that I don't like them. I'm a judgmental asshole. I think, like, why did you even publish this? This doesn't even make sense. Like, why are your words, why is there this giant gap in the middle of a page? Like, where are the rest of the words? Like, who are these characters? Like, you changed the name of a character in the middle of a book. Like, what? I didn't like it. And I was like, I can't interview you in good conscience knowing that I hate your book. Like, I don't want to tell people to go read it, because I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't spend money on this if I wish somebody had told me not to spend money on this, And so I was just like, let me stop. Ignorance is bliss. But then I was also interviewing people, trying to build up the platform, just having people come on or whatever. Like, they could invite themselves on. I was like, nah, homie, invite only, because the way some of y'all are drier than boiled chicken at a white person's cookout, I could not interact with y'all. This is not fun. This is not interesting. This is not enjoyable. This audio is not fun to listen to or edit. Like, I can't do anything with this. So we just wiped it, and I just had to learn that, what God has for me, he has for me, and not me and my friends. So I was just like, I'm gonna have to do this podcast by myself, because you know what, I can bet on myself for crisp and clear audio. I can bet on myself to show up on time. I can bet on myself to do this correctly, and if I don't, I have no one to blame but myself. That's it.
Y'all, I just love Chelsea so much. I do.
I love you too.
I'll leave my first season up, but I will say There are some episodes from my first season that I wish I could delete, because that was when I was just finding people. And, you know, me thinking I'm type A black excellence, I'm like, if there are black indie authors out there, they are excellent.
Oh, that misconception.
Yeah, I would go read the book, and it was too late. They was already booked for the show, and I was just like, damn. So I would have them on, and I was like, whew, if I could delete some of those episodes from the first season, it would be probably about 15 episodes that would stay up.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't see it as a bad thing to just go ahead and take it down. Personally, the ones that you don't like specifically.
But then like I said, then I won't have 150 episodes, because it will knock the number down. So I don't know.
We'll see. Nah, it's up to you.
Reed said, I get it why y'all want to delete episodes. Audra, I think I know what episodes you're talking about. You were trying to be gracious. Yeah, there was a bunch that I was trying to be gracious with in my first season. DL was quality. Rod was quality. There was about 10 authors, maybe 15, that were really good, and the rest, I'm not saying who. And if people from the first season are listening, don't come asking me was it me, because I'm not gonna tell you. But I'm just saying that I had to learn, and I had to learn to be more selective over time, and I had that. If that's one thing that I wish I had known. Get back to your question.
She circled all the way back around.
All the way back around. DL said, leave them. Everyone knows season 1 is the test.
That's true.
Listen, if there was one thing I wish I would have known before I started, I wish I would have known that there were going to be I wish I would have read the books beforehand before I offered interviews, because... Whew,
That is a very hard lesson as a podcaster, interviewing other people. You go into it with a certain energy, and you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm be professional. I got this. And so you go into it expecting everyone else to have that same energy, and they do not. They do not.
Reed said, true, it is how the housewives of whatever franchise look busted that first season.
It's a growing experience. Like,
it is.
It is. It definitely is. So take it with a grain of salt. Some people, y'all didn't need to see my growing pains. I just got delivered of it, but that's fine. I'm not ashamed.
Reed Loveless said, it's why I abandoned my channel. I want to come back better. I'm also a procrastinator. I hear you. Yeah. I'll probably leave season 1 up, but for anybody listening, let me tell you.
Be on point.
Be on point. Thank you. Because if you come through with some trash, and I read that trash,
I'm going to know about it.
There was one author that the book was so horrible, I canceled the show. And I painstakingly took like 4.5 hours to try and write this email, had my husband read it, and basically in a very nice way I said, I cannot have you on this show because people read the books that I have on the show, and I don't feel comfortable even just, I said every book isn't for everybody, and I get that, but I don't even feel comfortable having this book on the show. And she was like, well, why? And I was like, have you considered having an editor? And like, she went off on me. I actually did a whole post about it back. I think it was like 2021.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was just like, I was like, she tried to come for me, talk about libraries have requested my book, and everybody that I've had read my book loved my book. And I was like, well, your mama and Ray Ray and Pookie don't count. And the cover was horrible. And I was just like, oh, well, I'm sorry. And then I ended up having to block her because she kept firing back these crazy, random emails at me, trying to cuss me out. That's one thing I wish I had learned, that not all these books, and I'm not afraid to do it anymore. Sometimes I would just cancel and say I had an emergency, or I would just say, I'm sorry, but something came up and I can't do the show. And I don't reach out to reschedule. So
I love that because woo, look at God. Okay.
Reed said, have that camera, a computer, a mic, and a good book. That shows that black mediocrity can't be a thing like someone is be. No,
It's not even
mediocre. Mediocrity would have been a step up for this book.
I think it's a thing that like some things are just bad, and it's also for me, it's the audacity to ask why, because I'm like, because I don't want to, like, it's my platform, I don't have to have you on here, but I'm only laughing because, like, as I have said, and I will continue to say until I'm out of this era, I'm very much dead smack in the middle of my era, the middle of my villain era, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Goodbye, good day, right? Because
you get nothing. Good day, sir.
I said good day. But no, because like I had an author come on the platform recently. I did a whole interview with her, and the thing is, this happened recently twice. The first time I was like, I can kind of rock with this. I don't know about this, homie. And the first author was like, you don't need an editor, and what you know your story better than anyone, so you could just write it however you want to and send it out into the world. And I was like, ooh, baby doll, no, don't tell my listeners that. Absolutely not. The second person was like, I'll say this. The second person, she writes queer stories, and she is not queer. Does not identify with that at all. And I was just like, huh. In the way that I live my life, I'm like, you got to be a part of an identity to claim that you are writing representation for that identity. So I was just like, you know what, this doesn't sit right with me. And I thought about it, and I sat on it. I'm like, I don't know, but she's black, and I want to help her get her bag. But then I was like, no, I don't want to help you get your bag, because I'm not trying to tell people, specifically my audience, because this is supposed to be a safe space, that they can go read your book, and you're like, I don't understand why everybody need to be queer. You're not. Like, I just don't understand that personally. Like, it would be different if you, I ain't gonna get into a ramble about that. Point is, I was just like, I can't rock with this. And so I had to email her, and I was talking to Ben about it. I remember, I was like, because I told you on here, on Rants and Rambles, where I was like, oop, the audio file got corrupted. I'm so sorry. No, we cannot reschedule. And so, and it was crazy because my Wi-Fi did go out in the middle of her recording. So I really could have just been like, your audio files got corrupted. But I was like, no, I'm not going to lie to this woman. I am going to tell her and be honest. Like, I don't rock with what you're doing. So I can't air your podcast. Like, I wish you the best going forward. But, like, I can't promote this.
Did she respond?
She did. And she was like, okay, thank you for sharing. I understand. And it's just like, that was like, okay, great. Thanks for not blowing this up. Because also, I'm not the one.
Don't do it.
The way I'm really not that nice. But on top of that, it was just also kind of like, it made me wonder, like, how many people have told you this exact same thing and you're just kind of accustomed to it? That's also got me kind of curious. But
yep. And DL said, so many queer authors get pushed to the back, amplify others. Exactly.
There were so many things in that interview, you guys, that just kind of did not rock with me. She was like, the first thing that she had ever written, she got published. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, her first book was about a trans woman. She is not. And I was like, okay. And then she was talking about how she has other friends who were trad and how her publisher wouldn't, like, book her things and she felt like she deserved it. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, you know, she needed the validation of traditional publishing. And I was like, okay. And then she hit me with I'm a cisgender heterosexual woman. Like, she said it just like that. I'm a cisgender heterosexual woman, but I wanted to see more diversity, and therefore I wrote it in the way of Black queer characters. And I was just like,
that is akin to a white person trying to write a Black character to me.
And I was just like, you know what?
You don't have the experience. And yes, DL said, doesn't cisgender mean heterosexual? Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I thought that's what it meant. Well, there I go.
So cisgender is like you were born as a woman, and so you identify as a woman. Heterosexual means your sexual preference. So that means like you are a woman who likes men, or you're a man who likes women. Okay, that's what that means.
I thought cisgender was like, that's what that means.
No, so you have cisgender, transgender, and non-binary. So, because it's a spectrum. Yeah.
I learned something new, so people don't come for me if you reading this. Please don't come for me, okay?
Honestly, if you are cisgender heterosexual, it is such a learning curve because when you're not in a community, just like if you're white and you're learning about a black community, you have to figure out what the lingo is. You have to figure out what things mean. It's the same thing if you're outside of any community or identity. You have to do research and make space to understand. And even though the author I interviewed, I do believe that her heart was in the right place, but I'm also like, there are also a lot of white authors whose heart are in the right place when they write black stories, and your intention doesn't matter. Like, you still did something that you shouldn't have done. Kind of like if you're a kid and you, I don't know, and you set the kitchen on fire trying to make your mom breakfast because she's sick. Your intentions were in the right place, but you were still doing shit you shouldn't have been doing.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But neither here nor there. I had a whole slew of questions for you, but one of the ones that there are two that I for sure wanted to ask you, which was who would be your dream guest? And then what's one thing about podcasting that you would tell someone who's starting out podcasting?
Ooh. Something I would tell somebody that's starting out podcasting is what I said before. Just start. You can't fix what you don't start. Just start. Find yourself a nice, quiet place to record. Get you a microphone and a laptop. Start off with audio. You don't have to do video. I was audio until 2022. So I was 2 years of audio before I decided to go to video. And video may not be right for you. I had people requesting it, so I did it. So just start where you are, and please, for the love of God, do not compare yourself to other podcasts, and don't place the worth of your podcast on your download numbers, because that shit is so random. Like, I had 157 downloads, something like that, this past Monday, because Buzzsprout sends me an email every Monday for Between the Reads and tells me how many downloads I have. It was 157 this time. Last week it was 289. Week before that it was 45. I'm not trying to figure that out. Just do it because you love to do it. Be passionate about it and be consistent. And don't worry about the rest. The people that are meant to find you will find you. You know, just focus on making it the best show that you can make it. And the rest will iron itself out, I promise you. And what was the other question? I told you I can't remember. Oh.
Who would be your dream guest?
Oh, a dream guest. I don't know, because I interview traditionally and indie published authors. I don't know who would. I mean, Beverly Jenkins was a dream guest, and I've had her on. And I don't want to traditionally published, I would say N.K. Jemisin would be.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. She would be like, wow. Indie published, I don't know enough about the big indie authors to pick somebody.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
I also feel like the indie space is always changing too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
But a dream thing that I have, a dream goal that I have for my podcast, I will say this, is that my podcast blows up so much that it has the same kind of influence that Oprah's book club has. I would love to see black authors and then you think I'm picky now, then I would get really picky about who's on the show, because I know that once they come on the show, they're going to blow up. Because when I say, y'all, that I really do this for the authors, my only goal with this is to make sure that black authors get seen and their book sales go up and people get their books and read their books. That is my goal. That is why I am doing this. I'm not doing this to make myself famous. I'm not doing this. I would like to make money because the money will allow me to expand the mission of the podcast. But I am doing this because I believe 1,000% that black authors need to be seen in every genre. So if I had one wish for this podcast, is that it would be that influential. Yeah.
And it will be. Because like I said,
it shall be. Thank you. Chelsea, so wonderful.
I mean, no, because think about it. Like I said, A, you're doing the work, and B, within the Black bookish community, like you have very solidly made a name and a space for yourself. Because, like I said, most podcasts don't stay, and a lot of people, for better or for worse, once they get clout or once they get a little bit of momentum behind them, they don't continue to rock with indie authors. They go purely to traditional published authors. And like, I'm even going to call myself out a little bit. Most of the authors who come on my podcast at this point are traditionally published authors. That's mostly because I don't like people and they send me free books and indie authors want you to buy it, and my bank account is not set up like that. But it's also like, but that's just kind of like the reality of it, you know? Like, you want to bring people on who their following and their crowd is going to help uplift the podcast. So the fact that you're still rocking with indie authors, like, wholeheartedly, it's just like, I think you were absolutely going to have that influence, because literally every time someone reaches out to me, they're like, hey, like, how do I go about, like, promoting my book? I'm like, first you need to start with Audra. Because if Audra likes you, that means A, you have a good book, and B, you have the potential to reach more people. But, I mean, if Audra don't like you, I'd suggest you go back to the drawing board, because, I mean, like,
See, that's so much pressure. I'm like, that's also my dream, but it's also so much pressure, because I will read a book, and it may not be that I like the book, but it's still a good book. It's just not for me.
But
like,
I mean, that's that's the responsibility that comes with having a platform, though. Like, if people are looking to you to tell them what to read, like, you got to tell them what to read, and if something's not good, you have to be real with that. Like,
I know.
I mean, I'll tell somebody quick, fast, in a hurry. I liked it, but this was the problem with it, you know?
See, and I need to get like that. Because
I can teach you.
But then the thing, but then the thing is too, like, what I don't like, somebody else may not be bothered by. So, you know, that's
fair. And I feel like as long as you tell people objectively the things that you don't like, then they can decide for themselves if they don't like it. Because, like, when I go to a book review, it's like, don't just tell me, oh, I didn't like this book, I hated the characters. Why didn't you like the characters? Did you hate the character because they were in a love triangle? Because I ain't finna read that. Thank you for telling me. But did you not like the character because they murder people without asking questions? That sounds like it's right up my alley. Like, I would prefer to read a book like that. You know, I think there's a certain level of responsibility, but also I think, I mean, that's why I run my podcast the way that I do. I ain't telling you what to read. I'm just telling you what the book is about. Like,
right.
with their vicious games.
That's what I try to do. I don't sit there, like, if I say I love the book on the show, then I love the book. But if I don't say that and I'm just asking questions, then...
Hey.
If you've listened to me long enough, you can get a feel for books that just weren't for me, but they're still good, and books that I loved. So I'll just leave it like that. But Read Love Listen says, I believe that it is and will be. Your heart is in it. You stand out. I listen to many podcasts. Many only do romance, trad, pub, or white authors with the tokens, or they're not consistent. When Audra interviews authors, she makes it seem like a true conversation. Aw, thank you. And how do I come up with my questions? Oh, well, I read the book first. And while I'm reading the book, if it's on my Kindle, then I use the notes thing to highlight and make notes. And sometimes I'll just say for the show, or sometimes I'll write the question out as I'm reading. If it's a physical book, I know, don't start. I dog-ear pages, I highlight, I get sticky notes and put them on the page, and, you know, this is a point I want to talk about. Then when I'm done, I go back to the book and make questions from the notes that I made. So it's not like I get some canned questions that I do for every show. Like, every show has different questions. The only question that's the same in each show is at the beginning I say, tell us what this book is all about. But then from there, it's individual for each book. So that's how I do it.
I had to get my book because I was like, I actually wrote in this one. So I was like, I'm cool with that. Just like, I'm going to send you some sticky tabs so that you ain't got to dog ear your book, because
I have sticky tabs and I still dog ear.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just trying to send your book some love, but it's okay.
She's like, okay, fine. La says, I love everything you do with the podcast. I know I'd be honored to be part of it, even though I wouldn't know how to handle it because you're too big for it. Girl, stop. But you do so much work, and it shows. I always have a good laugh, and I learn new things in each episode. I honestly love it. Thank you, La. And has La written a book? Have you written a book yet, La?
She's writing it now. I got to be part of it.
Okay, so, yeah. So when the book is done and you're starting to promote, don't be trying to hide from me when I'm like, okay, La, here's the calendar link.
I'm not going to let her hide from you. There's some people where I'm just like, nah. And I need y'all to know that there are some people, first of all, y'all know I talk to Audra all the time, so I ain't even going to pretend like it's a secret. But y'all need to know that I be talking about y'all to her too sometimes. And I be like, look, when this person, you need to have her on the podcast. You need to invite this person on the podcast. I think this person would be good. Why? Because that author who shall not be named, who I talked to, who I was like, oh, this would be good, because me and Audra had literally been talking about wanting to have more queer representation on our podcast, because lately with everything going on with the book banning and such, there are a lot of authors.
She was like, yeah,
and
have her on the show.
I was like, because I found the book and I was like, oh, it's about a pansexual woman and an asexual man. And so I was like, okay, this is, in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if she's writing queer stories and her last book was about a trans woman, then this author is likely queer. And then she wasn't. And when I tell you I got off that interview and I was immediately like, if you ain't reached out to this woman, roll that back.
Don't.
roll that back real quick, because this is not going to do what you think it is, and then you're going to be in the same situation that I'm currently in.
Yep. And I was like, okay, thank you. And Ben says she likes being destructive to books. You talking about me or Chelsea? Probably.
For sure you.
Listen, especially my nonfiction books, I write in those. I write in the margins because I'm like thinking through stuff as I'm writing. And Reed says, also, I'm glad you have the visual episodes because some episodes are so good I have to leave the podcast and go to YouTube. Listen, we have too much fun on this show, and I be giving authors all the side eyes and looks and everything. Yes. I see La's with me. She said annotating is fun. I love it.
I like annotating. The only thing I cannot tolerate is folded pages. Only because when people borrow my book as a kid and then they would like fold stuff, and then automatically you have to flip to that page to unfold it. And if you haven't read the book yet, first of all, why are you folding my pages? And I haven't even read the book yet. Fuck you. And then also I have to jump to the good part to unfold the page, and then there's like a little dent in the page, so no matter how hard you press it, there's always a line there, always a memory. And I'm like, I hate you. Why would you do this? There are such things, and we call them bookmarks.
La says, I don't fold my pages. I can't. My soul won't let me. Well, we are dying gods. There are folded pages.
That's your book. You ain't got to send it back.
DL says, let me, everything's scrolling past. DL says, never treat other folks' books like your own. Damn,
yes.
This is rude. And she says, I fold mine, but not other people's books. Ben says, pages are meant to be turned, not folded. Whatever, Ben. I fold the hell out of my pages. La says, not the dent. The dent is the worst. And DL says, quitter strips. Bookmarks, yeah. Bookmarks and quitter strips.
I mean, either way, especially when, like, I was going to the library, and then, like, maybe to the point where the pages are so folded that it's just, like, you can't even read the text on it anymore. And I'm like, I hate you. It's a library book. I have very volatile emotions, you guys.
Now, I will never fold or write in library books.
See, you have class. You're civilized.
I get me a bookmark for my library books.
But you know,
things I do that for is my books.
But you know what really grinds my fucking gears? Yep. If you have a hardback and you fold fucking pages. I'm like, you know what you could do, homie? The dust jacket is a bookmark. The fuck? Why are you folding pages? That upsets me. A hardcover book specifically. Paperback, okay. But a hardcover?
But I don't like the way when you try to use the dust jacket of a hardcover, if it's past a certain, like...
Use the other side.
If you...
There are two sides. I can't with you. If you're more than halfway through the book,
library gives you free bookmarks. Don't destroy. Yes, now I said I don't do that to my library books. I will grab a bunch of. Well, first of all, I collect bookmarks, which is funny. But anyway,
I'm sure you do because you don't be using them. I'm sure they're all on display, nice, neat, and unused.
Yup. They're sitting in the little cup. But when I had to, when I would go to the library, they have them sitting right there at the checkout, and I just grab like 2 or 3 of them, use them.
I don't go to the library anymore because I live in a very not black place, and I'm just like, where the African American section is like a singular shelf.
The one of mine is like not that great either. They try, but they don't try that hard. But that's why I requested your books, and I will be following up. But I haven't been to, honestly, I used to go to the library every week to the point where my librarians would put stuff aside for me that they thought I would like. But I haven't been since the pandemic, so.
Yeah, after the pandemic, I don't like touching stuff that other people have touched. Because I'm like, the way we found out in the pandemic that certain demographics don't be washing their hands. And then after talking to one particular person who was married to a white man and going to his mother-in-law house and finding out that she did not even have soap in the bathroom, I was just like, wait a second, what you
it doesn't even compute in your brain. You're like, what?
Wait a second.
What is going on?
In my mind, I'm like, wait a second.
That's all she can say is, wait a second, like her brain can't even compute that.
I was so confused. Because in my mind, I'm not judging nobody. People grow out of their roots. But, like, everybody leave home at some point. But I'm like, wait a second. You married somebody who grew up in a house without soap? I would have questions.
Yeah.
That's just me. Because I'm like, I love your mom from a distance. We are not going to her house.
And we ain't eating nothing she cooking either.
Nope, she can't bring me nothing. She can't bring nothing to my house. I'm be like, she just went to the beach. I got to hose her off in the front yard. Gotta get all the sand off, you know? Don't want her tracking dirt to the house.
And the thing is, that'd probably be the first bath she had in a long time. I'm just saying.
It made sense because I was like, oh, that's why some of my classmates growing up were like dancing in the rain because I was like a shower. It's the first one they had in a really long time, huh? Okay. We're not going to get on that. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
But,
and we are at an hour and 46 minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just been running my mouth.
No, I don't be sorry.
I'm not actually. I said it out of reflex, but I don't mean it.
I was about to say, this is a special episode. We do what we want to do. We gonna do what we want to do. And Reed Loveless said, I haven't been to the library in person since the pandemic either. I used to go weekly, but people are weird and my kids touch everything. Yeah. Like, I even still have issues. Like, I buy used books a lot, but I be, like, letting them sit for a minute and, like, you know, opening them up and, like, lightly dusting with the Lysol just to, you know.
Yeah.
Because they used. But, you know, whatever. So anyway, I guess we'll end here because we are at an hour and 46 minutes, and I know folks, you know, don't be having no attention spans.
I don't.
I quit, y'all. I just... The way Chelsea would not listen to this episode if it was with, she'd be like, nah, homie, that's a hour.
I would listen to it on 2 times speed. I would have it on 2 times speed.
That's the last funny thing I will say. Y'all, I almost lost my shit. I was listening to her Novel Creature Network interview, and somehow, without knowing it, I had put my YouTube thing on like 2.5 speed or something like that, or 1.75.
It's got to be 1.75 because it doesn't go past 2.
Yeah, whatever. There you go. It was 1.7. I knew it was something 0.75. And like, I was sitting there like this the whole time. I was like, why the hell are they talking so fast? And my church don't talk like that. What the hell is going on? And then the only thing that clued me in is when Chelsea laughed and they went, it sounded like a chipmunk. Yeah! Except fast! And I was like, sweet Jesus, I have this on like 1.75 speed. And I was like, ooh, I don't know how people do this. I was shook like my bones, my my blood felt like somebody was like sending electric currents through my blood. I was like, whoa, God, you gotta slow this down. And I immediately thought, I was like, I don't know how the hell DL does this. I don't know how she be listening to shit at this kind of speed. That frazzled me. That frazzled me. I don't know what the face was. Honey, my face has a mind of its own. That was probably my, like, what the hell is going on? I am freaked out face. Like, why does it sound like this?
It might have been my face. I don't know. I make faces all the time. But it's just, I'm cracking up because
I was shook. I was shook.
Because when I do the podcast by myself, I talk fast anyway. Because when I do my TikToks, I also talk fast. So I was like, the way I'm not trying to keep y'all here. The way I am not trying to hold you. Get the information, get out. That's what we're here for. And so when Ben listens to the podcast, it's funny because he listens to it on Ben's playback. So when he pulls up my podcast, he's like, immediately, no, take out the shrimp silence, put it back to normal. He's like, you talk too fast to be cutting silence and speeding this up.
You do. Because you already talk fast, and then you were like on my chest. I was like, oh, wait, whoa. Slow down, little red Corvette. I need you to slow down.
Yo, I understand, because what trips me out is when you do Skillshare and you watch the videos, because me being me, get the information, get the fuck out. I don't need to watch 10 minutes of you explaining anything to me. It does not take that long. I promise you it does not. Okay? So, if it's a 10-minute video, I'm like clicking through to get to 2 times speed, because I'm like, let's speed this up. Let's just get through it. But what irritates me is with Skillshare, when you're on like mobile or whatever, or you're in a minimized window, it doesn't let you just click the one you have to go through. It makes you cycle through. And they have faster, but they also have slower. And when I tell you listen to something on 0.5 speed, I'm like, ain't nobody this slow. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Not with subtitles. I refuse to believe it. Why would you need this slow ass video slow down to a quarter of the speed? I don't understand. Anywho, if that was offensive, I apologize. I was not trying to be offensive, but my brain was like, why?
Listen, I get things slow, and I don't think I can listen to it at 0.5 speed. Like, that would be painful to me. Allah says that when she realizes that she's been on for 20 minutes, that's when she goes into hyperdrive. Just
get in, get out. I'm like, oh, this is 20 minutes. But here's the other thing about the podcast. 30 minutes of audio is like 2 hours worth of editing.
It is.
The way I refuse to have an hour-long episode by myself. Because also, y'all have to understand, I'm sitting here talking to this little mic in a room by myself, sounding like a full-ass crazy person talking to strangers, okay? Like, I'm not trying to do that for an hour every week. Like, listen. I don't want the crazy to set in for real. Like, I really think there are people on the other side of this mic. Nah.
When I used to edit, when it was just audio, I would edit out me saying and the other person saying and stuff like that. But as I got better, I'd stop doing that. But then when I started going to video, and I switched my editing platform, because I used to edit in Audacity, but when I did video, I edited in Kdenlive. And at first I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to edit this in Kdenlive and then go into Audacity and do the audio. And then as I took the class, I was like, wait a minute. I can render an audio file from this?
Yep.
So that's when I don't edit nothing no more. I don't edit anything out. I just run the show and I listen through to make sure there's not something like I need to clip, or to make sure that the audio stays consistent, and to make sure like the picture doesn't drop out. And I put my lower third in and all of that. And if there's some graphics that I need to put up for some of the shows, I'll put that in at certain points. And I listen all the way through to find my sound bite, basically.
And you're so nice doing sound bites.
Listen.
Because the way I will give you a pretty graphic. Mm-hmm. It's not going to talk though. It's not. Mostly because at this point I don't even edit the podcast. Ben does it for me, because the way I'm like, I love you, but I don't have time. And literally, even for my own stuff, I'm like, it's and then like editing out and I have so many filler words. I have like, that being said. So, you know, like, I was literally editing video today. Okay, so I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was trying to be cute. I was gonna be like, ooh, I had an interview. Like, I want to start doing the videos on YouTube because I want to get those watch hours. And so I tried to put little captions on there. First of all, that was a whole ass process. Second of all, it took me all damn day, and I am still not done. Third of all, I was just like, how many damn times am I gonna say like in this one sentence? I just said it like 4 times. I was like, and you know, I mean, it's like, shit, Chelsea, get it out.
Say what you're saying.
Say what you say and mean it, damn it. But, like, stop stumbling over your words. You would think that I did not take public speaking.
Half of her and she'd start editing out her likes. I used to do that with mine, but I found that
I ain't got time.
As I've been doing this, I don't know, I started editing myself as I was talking. So now it's such a habit and I just let it go. You know, like I said, I listen all the way through to make sure the audio is good, the video doesn't drop out, and to listen for what sound. And as I'm listening, I write down my favorite moments, the minute mark, and then I go back through and pick one, and then I make my sound bite from that. But yeah.
For the auto caption, I will say this: I don't like YouTube's auto caption because I have words that apparently are very black, like melanin. So it never gets it right, ever. And it never gets my name right. Apparently I am Sam, not CM. And so I'm like, I have to do it. So like part of my videos on YouTube now, I just put the captions in the video. Like it's part of the video. Because I have to do it anyway. And it helps because I'm like, I want it to be accessible, but also...
Dale,
yeah.
Gail said, the captions say Dale Wright. Yeah, see, I haven't gotten the captions yet. If it doesn't do it automatically, I need to, I know, but
it takes a long time. I'm not mad at you for doing. The only reason I do it is because I am like halfway there to being monetized on YouTube, and so I'm like, this would probably help.
Yeah.
And also, I quit things very easily. So if I ever get sick of this, I'm gonna stop. There's also that. I am not committed to anything except for Ben. Woo! Except for Ben. I got that. But everything else is up for grabs. If it stops being fun, like if this writing thing stops being fun, the way I'll be like, oh, we had a good run.
Oh, I'm glad you clarified. Poor Ben might have been over there like, oh. He said Chelsea is a sub-elitist.
What you mean?
And DL said, but if she don't get that bookcase... Whole marriage in question.
I am not a hard person to please.
Like, listen, I'm gonna stay committed, but I'm gonna need my bookshelf.
Everybody has requirements. I mean, where else am I supposed to display my books? Huh? I'm just supposed to be a whole ass author with no books. I'm just whatever. It's fine. Okay. Y'all can judge me. He gave me the bookcase and we're fine. And we're gonna go out to eat later and it's all gonna be great.
DL said, you knew what this was, Ben.
See, Ben knows. He's like, I know the rules of engagement. See?
There you go. All right.
I just want you to know, this is not new. My father also spoiled me, so it's just, that's what it was. He knew what this was.
What it is. It is what it is. Well, we are now at the 1 hour 57 minute mark.
I'll be quiet so we can wrap up.
Lies.
That's why she's looking like
that. That's why
she's best you get to it.
She's like, close it up, bitch. Wind it up, or we gonna start talking some more. Reed said it's been a party. Lawson making a whole 2 hours. Listen. Who's gonna listen to a 2 hour podcast?
Not me.
See?
I've already listened to it once. I was here.
And DL said, I do, but I'm an outlier.
Well, that's not true. A lot of podcasts.
Somebody else. Yeah, like Joe Rogan shit would be like 4 hours long.
Do you listen to that?
No, but I
see?
just know.
See? Point made. But I was trying to say a lot of podcasts are longer than an hour. They're usually like an hour and a half.
Okay. And this is my 150th episode. I am just a special one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it to between like 30 minutes and an hour. So.
Except when I come back next time, it's also going to be another 2-hour episode when we talk about Weird Dying Gods.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I have decided that we're going to have
2 hours twice a week?
No! What?
Shit.
What are you talking about?
It was a comment. I got distracted. Sorry. ADHD.
Oh, DL, the other pod I listen to faithfully does 2-hour pods twice a week. The editing, yeah. Ben said, see, I don't mind. I can always pause and come back. Yeah. I was going to say, for your show, even though I don't have a whole lot of Patreon followers, what we're going to do is do one episode that's like regular, and then I'm going to do like a little soundbite to promote, and that's going to be one that goes up just on my Patreon.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah. Lots of pausing and coming back is so powerful. The only way I get through, yeah, exactly.
The way my attention span is set up, I will forget what the first half of the podcast was about.
In truth, so would I, and then I have to go back and listen to the
So
whole
what were they
thing.
talking about?
And then I have to pause again, and then I'm right back where I would see. Then it becomes an endless loop.
See, it's just like when you put down a book. You can't put down a book at a point where you're like, oh, this is a good place to stop. You ain't never coming back to it.
Yeah, no. Ben said, can I be live there for that one? Of course you can. Yes, absolutely. All right, y'all. So we are almost, by the time I wind this up, it will be 2 hours. Okay, yeah, y'all can be there. That's fine. Y'all know my door is open to the crew. Yes, anybody wants to be there can be there. So this is the end. We have, how should I end it the way I always end? We have come to the end of our show. Thank you for sharing your time and your talents with me, Chelsea. Thank you for celebrating my 150th episode. Thank you for doing Rants and Rambles with me. Yeah, thank you to everybody in the audience. Ben, La, DL, Read, Love, Listen. Thank you for being there in the live audience, making it even more fun. La says, congratulations again, Audra. Thanks for hosting. This is wonderful. You are most welcome. And Fred sent a bunch of happy birthday hats. Read, love, everybody saying congratulations. Yes, thank you all so much. And to all my listeners out there, all around the United States, really all around the world, because I got some people in other places. Thank you for listening, for downloading, for rocking with me for 3 years. And here's to 3 plus more.
Amen.
So, until next time, y'all, you know what to do. Grab a book and read. And I'm out.
Thank you for lending me your ear today. If you've enjoyed this independent podcast, you can help me continue to shine the light on Black authors and their stories by becoming a patron at patreon.com/betweenthereads, or by giving a one-time gift at www.ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. That's ko-fi.com/betweenthereadspodcast. Tune in next time for another great episode.